Hello and welcome to Xbox Classics. In this installment, the game is Gauntlet 7 Sorrows for the original Xbox. This game was released in very late 2005, and it was developed and published by Midway. This was their attempt to reboot the Gauntlet franchise back to its origins in the arcade. Once upon a time, every arcade had to have a Gauntlet cabinet. It just had to.
This is a story of betrayal, and the sorrows it has sown. It is a betrayal caused by my own hand. Yes, the betrayal of the four great heroes. They were immortals, yet they served me, the Emperor. But I and my 6 trusted advisors attempted to magically steal the heroes' immortality by crucifying them to the great tree at the bottom of the world. This horrible deed of betraying them was the first of my 7 sorrows, and the only one in my power to undo. So I have freed them by 4 loyal heroes, the ones whose counsel I should never have dismissed. They must journey through the lands to set right what my betrayal and sorrows have wrought. It is a world made hostile and monstrous through my misdeeds, and those of the evil 6 advisors. The various forms these 6 have taken now grow stronger as they ravage our world. The heroes must now seek out the 6 and destroy them all in battle to end the chaos unleashed upon our world. All will be set right if the heroes can triumph. For the sake of our world, I hope they do.
Where the original Gauntlet games were basically just action games where you just mindlessly slew enemies that just infinitely spawned at you, here it's kind of the same idea, except the main difference here is this is an action beat-em-up game with RPG elements. So it's a little bit more sophisticated than its arcade roots, but it's still not especially a deep or involved game that you really need to think about. It's ideally played with 4 players, just the same as the original Gauntlet cabinets were, but I'm only going to be showing you single player, of course. So you can choose between the 4 original classes, the Warrior, the Valkyrie, the Elf, and the Wizard. They basically all play the same, they're just, different avatars of the same character. Now, what's interesting here is the more you play the game, you more abilities that you'll unlock for your characters, and you sort of give them, unique skills. So if you're playing with 4 people, you can all choose different paths, and you end up with different characters, as you progress, but they all start the same. So let's choose a character. I'm gonna choose the Valkyrie because she's the only woman, so why not?
This was formerly a great city, one the warrior knew as his home. But now, it suffers under the evil plots of the 6, who have spread chaos and destruction to the 4 corners of the world. Here, men fight for nothing, driven mad by the evil power of the 6. The heroes must fight through this chaos for the sake of their quest.
This game was also released for PlayStation 2, but the PS2 version, obviously is inferior in the fact that it's, it's SD and doesn't run in 480p. And you need a multi-tap for 4 players for that version. And, this is generally the better version. So you move around with the left stick, you attack with either the X button or the A button. Pressing the B button will do a ranged attack, and pressing the Y button will launch enemies into the air. Prior to this release, there were 2 other Gauntlet games released during the 128-bit era. The first 2 games sort of, strayed in and tried to, revitalize the Gauntlet name, giving it new gameplay elements and sort of bringing it into the modern era. Where this one sort of returns to its roots and makes the game more simplistic and just more basic than those other ones, and just kind of makes it a better game that way. not exactly a thinking man's game. You know, most of this is just mindless button mashing, and I don't even need to think as I talk here. But, you know, sometimes you want to play the game like this. You don't want a really deep or engaging game. And just because it's simple doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, if simple games were bad, you know, I wouldn't be a retro gamer. Food restores health, you know, obviously, and if you run out of health, you die. Although the game is fairly simple, the visuals on it look very nice, and this is definitely takes benefit from being a late-era Xbox game. I'm not exactly sure what collecting gold does. I think it might be done to, you know, buy equipment or something. Or maybe upgrades. This isn't a game I've poured a whole lot of time into, but it is a game I like to pick up and play every now and then. It's definitely got that, you know, pick up and play arcade feel to it. Where if arcades were still around, this is a game I think would very much be in, you know, the kind of arcade atmosphere. In fact, the last arcade I went to, it was actually a barcade, had a Gauntlet cabinet. And, you know, this really reminds me of that atmosphere. So... The AI is not particularly too bright, but it doesn't need to be. You know, this is definitely, you know, just a hack-and-slash arcade-style game. That's really just meant for, you know, time-wasting and having a good time with friends. Also, as a console game, the game is far more forgiving than its arcade roots would suggest. The original Gauntlet was, you know, a game where you pretty much would die guaranteed. I guess there are, you know, people who do, like, speedruns or whatever for Gauntlet games, but, you know, that's not why you play them. You just play them, you know, just for time wasting, essentially. So as you progress, you can, you know, level up your character here, so I'm gonna, maybe... No, I don't have enough points. Never mind. But you'll get enough points that you can upgrade your character. No, it's...